welcome. We are live, everybody, live here on P2G. We thank you all for being with us tonight for Collective Enlightenment. I am one of your hosts, LBT, also known as the Crypto Queen of Harlem, here with one of my hosts, Mr. Alvin Thomas, also known as the
Go Banker coming to you live 1 gram at a time. Oh, you guys are in for a treat tonight. Y'all guys are in for a treat.
I sure hope they are.
Yeah.
So we have got some amazing information to. There's a lot of things going on around here, and it's more than climate change. Trust me, a whole lot more than climate change. And I think somewhat because of climate change, it's starting to affect those changes of the stories that we're going to be sharing with you. So tonight we have some of what's in the news. A lot of people have been hearing about what's been going on with New York and the gun policies and the changing or the maintaining of the current gun policies in either direction and what that's meaning. And I think in some cases we've just gone too far. in
Pretty
many
much, they usually, whenever they're trying to change something, they usually go over the top before regulations really get laid down into place. You
exactly.
know, and with this particular thing, which is actually a very hot topic right now,
Mhm.
not only in the federal government but in local government, it's a powder keg, and they really don't know where to put put the emphasis on making the rules. So yeah, this is a really serious topic.
Exactly. It changes, unfortunately, we are now in a debate over constitutional rights were written in and made this country what it was as part of creating an equality for all. The ability to protect your home and ability to protect yourself has really been challenged because of, I guess, the times and kind of the way we are in a society together. For whatever reason, it is what it is. But we got to I want to take a look at where some of that goes to, or what the directions these things can, how far out these things can get. Today, I saw something. It was a tweet. As a matter of fact, it came through Twitter. I've been getting all kinds of weird things in Twitter, but I try to keep my ear to the ground when it comes to certain subjects. And gun policy is important because I live in New York, and we do have a great amount of gun violence out here. How that gun policy is is actually put into action is important to me. And don't get me wrong, like I said, I'm not anti anything, and I'm not for everything. I do put a lot of emphasis on common sense and practical use into everything we're looking at when it comes to this particular law being looked at. So let's take a look what's happened. What has happened with gun policy in New York, and where has it taken us now? Mr. Thomas, do you mind if we start with this?
By all means, go right ahead.
So tonight we're going to read. It's not much of a video story. I want to just share a little bit of what came up on Twitter for me today. So let's take a quick look. We got a lot of different opinions. There's a lot of differing opinions on the matter, and whatever your opinion is, it's validated. We in no way let you know right now, to be really honest, I in no way tell anybody that your opinion is invalid and that what you think is in any way wrong. Everyone has their opinion and they feel the way they feel. Doesn't really affect me. But now we're looking at children's toys that are these are clearly toys. And with the literally, when I said climate, it's hot as heck outside. What do you think our kids are gonna do? What do our kids do when it gets hot?
They play in the water.
We have water fights. Exactly. We use water balloons. We use all kinds of ways of filling up different things. Water guns. Now, mind you, a while ago we stopped in our family. We stopped the use of guns for children as a way to not encourage them to use guns in the first place, unless it comes with education. See, that's the one thing we don't encourage the use of guns on a regular. There's always different ways of having fun with water. But I'm looking at a story, And let's go up because we want to read the basis of the headline. It says yesterday in NYPD News, officers encountered individuals carrying these bead blasters. They were confiscated and summons were issued. These yesterday was the worst heat index in this particular year for this year in New York. There was a heat advisory and heat index advisory and air quality advisory that was put out around the city and on a lot of different notifications. And guess what? The police were out off issuing summons to children, to young people, trying to cool off with water pistols. I don't know.
That was the biggest waste of time I have ever heard.
And resources.
The biggest waste.
They got paid to
Now
give children summons.
understand me. Can someone create
Wow.
a facsimile with a 3D printer?
Yes.
Yes. Can someone create an actual working firearm out
Yes.
of plastic? Yes.
Absolutely.
But if children are, I you gotta excuse me because
This is.
I'm
I'm
looking at
just showing. I'm
I'm
just
reading
showing you
the
some
art.
of the pictures.
Children are carrying a beaded blaster, a bead blaster. What the hell is a bead blaster? That's not.
What is it? Mr.
And
Thomas, you are the one with the authority in this area because you have the
now,
most
when
information.
you, I'm gonna
What's
be
a bead
very
blaster?
honest. Um, there is a weapon that we use in training that's called a sim or a what's it called?
Is it a
Semtech blasters. They shoot
scented blaster?
BBs. They look exactly the same. Set up is the same way. They carry a CO2 cartridge and an electrical charge. I can guarantee you, if they walked up on the kids with this, they knew it had water in it. There was no, and it is clearly defined, which is the legal disclaimer for unreal facsimile weapons: the orange trigger, the orange muzzle. You can use orange, blue, red, as long as you don't know. Now this, I if they confiscated this weapon, I got their back 100%.
Oh yeah.
They
This looks like a
confiscate
gun.
this, 100%. Take it. This is
This.
too close. This is a mockery of justice. This is just a couple, and I'm gonna say it out, a couple officers who had nothing better to do, who needed to hit a ticket quota.
Okay. Get
And
this.
yes, that may sound personal. That's a ticket quota move. A subpoena for a plastic zebra printed weapon.
I'm gonna share something with you. This okay, so these are some of the commentaries. It says this is just a parody of the parody of the UK Police Department confiscating safety scissors from school classrooms, right? Please tell me this is not what police in America's most prominent city, are doing. This disconnection from reality is here. Reality here is stunning. I have to agree. This is different. The cop, it says this cop was hit with a water-filled jelly ball.
Can you repeat that, please?
It says this cop was hit with a little water-filled jelly ball.
Oh, so the kids got the ones with, okay. They got the paint filled. That's why he said bead. Yes, they come with water. His feelings were hurt. Oh, poor man. His feelings were hurt because he got wet. Dude, you were sweating out there.
Now it says, so if they issue a criminal summons, why did you murder a kid? Are you judge and jury and executioner? They're talking back and forth. So I'm not going to get into the conversation, but we want to make sure
It's
people
silly.
understand that there is an extent in which we have to, I mean, this is a picture of the police officers playing with soakers with the kids, super soakers with the kids. This is a mockery. It is just we've had it where the police officers actually play with the soakers. And as you can
Yep.
see, there are different ways of doing this, of having these soakers involved. So
Now, if
I
they
just want you guys to
honestly
understand. I
see
get the need for
this, I've seen. That's the one with the Semtech beads. Got it.
right.
They hurt though. Those beads do hurt.
Okay, and I understand that. But at the same time, this is a water. This is a water blaster. These are water blasters. This is water, and I understand that at certain, we have to limit the kind of equipment that these young people can use because some of it is dangerous. Someone gets hit in the eye with something that's coming at enough force. Honestly speaking, you can take someone's eye out.
Absolutely.
But are we? Once again, we're back to the whole process of teaching gun safety. It's teaching
It's always going to
safety
be
for
on there.
all things. It's always going to be the education equals the application and the outcome in the end. And when you just have people, now you're going around the street and saying, okay, we just don't want you, to have this. And now we're going to give you a summons, and you're going to pay for that. But don't get it twisted. They're also confiscating
Yep.
the equipment. So
Of
you get it
course.
so they're taking your equipment that you paid for
Finding
and
you
then
and destroying it.
fining you. This isn't even a real gun. This is a toy meant for playing in the heat for children, young people, and some young people with adults. I
Well,
don't get it. I think we are getting out. We're really getting out of hand with this
well,
process. Let me
ju-
just get out of here now.
just last week they had the same issue happen. I don't
You
know if you're
know,
familiar with the little portable radios
yeah.
that people carry on their bike and they walk around. Cops confiscated 1,000 of them last weekend during the holiday week.
Why? A
They said they
portable
were too.
radio?
Yeah, they said people were complaining. No one complains
I'm
about those.
just trying to let you know this is
It's,
starting to sound like a political money grab.
it is a money
It
grab,
sounds like a money grab.
and you have to show up at court, pay the fine, and show legal document that you actually own the device.
So I just want you to get something. This is all we have gone from major crime. I'm gonna be really honest. Apparently, there's not enough major crime, and it's too much of a burden to arrest real criminals. So now we are going to the misdemeanors. We are focusing the entire force of the police department on misdemeanors.
Frankly,
Guys, I don't understand. I don't
they're not
understand.
even misdemeanors. They're violations with no punishable time other than a fine and a surcharge.
But the fact of the matter is, that's the new focus because of a fine. This is stuff that did not exist short of before a pandemic.
These are all the
Before,
things that they find in the violations book that they can write little tiny things.
yep.
This, what? So
Oh,
next
yeah.
week, what is it next week? Oh, we're gonna start writing tickets for jaywalking again.
In New York. Anyway, I'm sorry, y'all. Look, the
That's
police
what's next.
jaywalk. The
We're
police
gonna write you a
jaywalk.
ticket for jaywalking.
The police jaywalk. We are not Canada. This is not the clean streets of Canada. You're talking about the mean streets of New York, and everybody's trying to get across the street however they can.
I don't remember the last time I saw somebody cross at the corner and waited for the light to change. This
Child,
is hustle and bustle,
look,
New York.
I'm gonna tell you, just being a New Yorker myself, jaywalking is something I've had to catch on my own for me. Okay, it becomes a necessity. If the cars are not coming, I'm not walking all the way down the cross and back to my car. I'm crossing the middle of the street where I gotta go because ain't nothing coming at me.
That's
If
it.
I'm gonna be okay, I'm gonna be okay. But do you see how what we're talking about is we want to make sure people understand things are changing. Climate control is more than just weather. It's more than just the adaptability of weather. It's causing a lot of social interactions to be extremely stressed. It's causing
Social
simple things.
discord.
Oh, seriously. I was on another talk where we had a conversation, and someone mentioned it was on our mental health platform, our mental wellness platform, and they were asking, "Do you think that that there are mental repercussions for society as a whole that came from the time we were indoors at during Corona?" And
I
I have to
truly
say yes.
There are people who really can't be around people right now. They've been locked in their home for so long. They have actually people have turned in from extroverts to introverts People are being
complainers.
people are hiding in their homes now because they're afraid to go back out into the real world because they've been disconnected. And if you really think about it, people in general, human being, is an interactive society. We need each other to survive.
It's an interactive state of being. Human being cannot exist on its own. It
No,
will vegetate and eat its own brain. And it will not be healthy. When we try to succeed and do big things, one, we can't avoid trying to do big things. That is something as a human being we cannot avoid. As a human being, you will always be trying to scale your life. You will always be trying to grow. And in order to grow, you will always have to come outside of self. It doesn't matter if you have a limited number of people that you surround yourself with, like Steve Jobs did. I'm sorry, yeah, like Steve Jobs did. Um, he surrounded himself with only he interacted with only 5 people in any one day
right?
to keep himself clear of his goals and his objectives. He was highly functional, and not just the same 5 people. He would always interact with 5 people. He's created a life that created workability, and he was able to create a large group of interconnected communicators that took his message outward.
Absolutely.
Think about how effective he was by keeping his personal inner circle very small at any given time, but
That,
still affecting a large group. Go ahead. I'm sorry, honey.
that space itself, operating in that kind of space, one, it lends to a very deepening amount of trust because you only put certain people in your life, and if they don't add to your life, you don't keep them there. That's why his social interaction was a very tight. His social and his business were the same 5 people, and they were his messengers. They were his
Emissaries.
messengers.
We say emissaries.
Not to be funny or there are a lot of highly functional people who have small groups of interaction, and this includes people like Warren Buffett. He has a very small group of that he interacts with. This man is in
He
his,
speaks
I
to
believe,
large groups.
late 70s, almost 70. His routine hasn't changed in over 40 years. He does the same thing every day, day after day, faithfully. Eats the same meal out of the same brown bag. Well, not the same brown bag, but a brown bag, for lack of a better term, consistently.
Alvin,
Yeah,
Warren Buffett was born in 1930. He is approximately 92 years old.
92. Excuse me.
92. That man does not look a year over 74.
It's amazing what non-stress does.
It's amazing what creating routines that give to your life does. And that's why Berkshire Hathaway has existed so long. Companies where he has
I
not
am
just been
pro
an
Berkshire Hathaway.
That's why this is why all of the businesses that he's ever invested or built in and built has been long standing
Yes, indeed.
because of understanding systems and understanding consistency. While everybody was flipping flopping through the years, he knew to stay steady to what worked across the board all the time, and has gotten through several recessions and depressions
Absolutely.
in business and in life. He understands living his life at a means in which is livable, because you cannot exist living in multiple homes. This man still owns his original home. My
And it wasn't
God.
even a big home. It was just enough to raise his family in.
Well, it's still enough to live in, be comfortable, be secure,
Hmm.
and whatever he owns is not just his, but it lasts. So there's something to be said about living a life in a small, with a controlled environment that you can exist
Because
in,
I
and
have
having
to,
your message passed on.
because his life isn't small, but it is controlled. Without
Yeah,
a doubt, it is controlled. And I like the way he operates honestly because he doesn't say anything. He doesn't say a whole lot of words.
Are you
His,
serious? Have you not listened to his speaking?
no, his the longest speech I ever heard from Warren Buffett was an hour long, and he repeated the same things 3 times within that hour.
Well, that's what they
Three,
call consistency, isn't it? Be
yep.
simple. Simplicity, consistency,
The
and
only man I know. He's also the only man I know that someone paid $4.5 million to have a lunch with him, and you don't
Justin's
eat.
son. Justin's son.
Just
Because what he was fed, and this is something I share with all of you. We always share the fact that if you get a chance to sit across the table, a dinner table, or some sort of meal with a multimillionaire or someone who has achieved high success in life, and you get a chance to have a meal with them, I would suggest you not pick up that fork at all and use a pen instead. I would use a recorder and stay very close to the conversation. Ask questions. Get as much as they're willing to give you. And use all of the time you have to gain the real nourishment from that meal.
yep, without a doubt.
I don't care if you pay $1 or $1 billion for that conversation. Anyone who can get you to your goal is worth the time to giving every second and every moment that they're willing to give you, especially when they've been succeeding for almost 100 years of life. Come
I
on
honest,
now.
I honestly believe he, and I don't know this factually, but if you listen to how he speaks, it's almost as though his life is based around the Sony concept of the 125-year business plan.
I bet you would know. I can almost guarantee it is.
It's based around the Sony
I
100.
guarantee it is that these things
Oh,
have been
before
learned.
you know what? Let me say that. Let me preface. If you don't know what we're talking about right now, Sony has a business plan that every member of their business faction must learn and read cover to cover before they become an executive. This is their 125-year business plan, and every member of the company must know it. They must know it like they know how to breathe. This is what keeps Sony functioning. This is what keeps that entity in place in business to this day. I don't know if there's a new Sony radio or TV out there. I don't know. But I guarantee you, if you look now, the business plan for Sony is still running because if you play video games, you know Sony is in the metaverse. Sony it was originally Sega based and is also one of the founders of Minecraft. It is one of the head funders of Minecraft and Engine, which runs a lot of the metaverse creation sites.
Exactly.
So,
And
with
while we're
that being
coming into this space, while we're coming into this space, we have some information to share with you. Mr. Thomas, you brought to the table a little bit of the news of what's happening with in the crypto world. Because you know what we do. We bring you everything. We're not just gonna bring you
absolutely.
one part. We're gonna make sure you come, we bring you all the way up into the space so that you
Actually, that's actually a really, I gotta admit, that's actually a cool transition because we're actually going to flip it a little bit because we're just talking about Sony and gaming. We're going to go right to the new, we're going to talk today, we're going to talk about this one company. And
Mhm.
they've been in the room for years, you know. Shout out to brother LJ. We're talking about your people today. We're talking about your people. We're
All
talking
right.
about XRP and Ripple. Ripple has now come into play where they're actually working with a company that actually has an NFT platform where it is create now, pay later. You
Interesting.
literally get to create your platform, and I want to give it the right name. Hold on, I'm going to scroll down just a little bit. Uh, Super Mojo,
So I'm just going to ask a question. Is this similar to what we're seeing with a platform with platforms like uh,
Polygon.
no, not just Polygon, but you know that they have the NFT platform where you can create your NFTs and the payment comes from the customer.
Yes,
Is that
absolutely.
similar to that? So that's
Very
becoming very
similar program.
popular in the space. That's becoming very popular in the space.
And what's really popular about what's really synonymous with Ripple and Supermojo. Two of the original data creators from Ripple are now the founders and CEO of Supermojo, and they're creating their platform. They're actually backing their platform. They bought into their platform just this week, and they're now helping to create the space for Ripple to move in. And not only is you can actually you're using XRP to pay, create the purchasing power around the platform. So they're creating a whole payment system around that.
Oh,
On top of that, just recently, I don't know if you're familiar with that, XRP has actually been in the news for actually being allowed into major countries like in South America, Italy, Argentina as payment systems, and working with people in the crypto space to actually make sure that they have the ability to create funding in their areas. So this is a really phenomenal concept to be coming into play, and
okay.
this is right on this is right on the cusp of the change. On top of what's going on, we all know about the negatives with the SEC, the Security Exchange Commission, and how they're trying to give XRP a hard time because they want them to prove that they're not. Um,
Right.
I want to say the right. I want to use the right term because I don't want to say it wrong. That they're not security, because XRP is not a security at all. But one of the big, this is extra for you guys who are listening and who pay attention to the mix. They want to say that XRP used a security platform to raise $1.3 billion to create all the other projects that they're using.
Hmm.
I'm sorry. Let me see. In 2016, it was said that businesses could use cryptocurrency as a way to create
Fundraising. Yep.
crowdfunding and fundraising.
That's right.
How does that change? Because they're actually turning into a payment system.
Uh-huh.
They're running a business that uses a payment method that was created through a smart contract to create investors. I'm just saying.
Mm, mm.
I'm not saying the Security Commission doesn't have a leg to stand on. I'm just saying that the people who are doing this particular investigation don't really understand how cryptocurrency works. And one of the major senators are actually leading the campaign to go after XRP as being a security commission. You can go in and let me paraphrase. We are not financial advisors. We're bringing you the news as read from the Bitcoinist, which is one of the major crypto publications in the space
You
that
can
are
look it
actually
up yourself.
following this.
That's right. You can look it up yourself.
So shout out to the Bitcoinist and for doing this and providing great information for you guys to read. You can actually check this out. I'm going to post this later in our site so you can read this and take the time to get the information because it's phenomenal information. It's a great read. And, you know, if you have questions, definitely reach out, read us. The guy who created this, I can't pronounce his name. His name is Ronaldo Marquez. There's another one in there. His name is Ronaldo Marquez. You can reach out to him. He also has a Twitter and a Discord that you can actually get onto and
That's
actually
right.
check him out. He follows it hard, and that's what we have for Ripple and XRP. Shout out to brother LJ. We talking about your coin tonight.
Okay, Mr. Thomas, I'm going to ask for a little bit of education here for those who may have not really understood what is the difference between Ripple and XRP?
Could you repeat that again? I'm sorry.
What is the difference between Ripple and XRP?
Okay, Ripple is the parent company that created the coin XRP. Ripple used to be at one time. Ripple was a coin, and Ripple turned into the corporation that is otherwise known as Ripple
Mm,
LLC. And now the coin that they promote is XRP, which is a coin being used for the
okay.
payment systems around the world.
All
And,
right. Sounds like a plan.
uh, and there were four individuals who actually created the company Ripple. Two of them are now founders of the Super Mojo coin, and two of them are still running Ripple as we know it today.
Nice.
Okay. So,
Sounds
but
like a plan.
yeah, look, keep it keep it in the family. I'm just saying,
Yes.
keep it in the family. But
Sounds like a plan to me.
we have another piece of information that's really hot. We're always talking about, P2G is always in the space of making sure that people understand the value of cryptocurrency and the ability to acquire, protect, and use safely. I have an article I want to bring to you guys in, and I think it's very valuable. It's on the cusp of what's happening with a coin that's really popular. You guys may know they named an entire coliseum after them. Crypto.com, formerly known as the Staples Center. They're doing a lot of big things out there in the market.
That's right.
They, you know, I'm I can't say I'm pro or against Crypto.com because I think it's a good platform. I think it's extremely centralized. So you guys got if you're trying to be in a centralized market and you don't mind being centralized, I think it's a great place for you to work. They have a lot of coins that you can be a part of.
Now,
You
I wanted to share with you, Mr. Thomas, because you tend to
know.
remember, you tend to speak to the choir often. For those
Yeah,
who
I
don't
do.
understand what he means by centralized, decentralized, this is a process in which we teach on our platform that we'll
Yes,
teach at 9 o'clock tonight. You're welcome to join us on P2G Networks. Once you join the network, you get access to free education, free workshops throughout an entire week that share with you concepts of what's happening in crypto, altcoins, what's happening in on the blockchain as well as the metaverse. Why is all of this important? How it affects your everyday life, no matter what lifestyle you live in. So definitely join the P2G networks. Like tonight, we will have on our platform the crypto boomers teaching,
absolutely.
not preaching, working it out in a gamified way to see how this crypto is working and all the facts you need to know to get your information right. So don't
And
forget, we got that info for what he's talking about.
thank you for that, Rudy. I definitely was speaking to the choir of those who knew. So I want to bring it back. So because it's unfair to say stuff that people may not understand. It's unclear if I'm saying stuff that you don't understand. Centralized, for lack of a better term. Think of it this way: if you go to the bank, you put your money in. Say you want to take a look at your account, you can look at it, but the only people who have control over what you have in your bank is your bank. All right. The bank maintains and says what you can take out, when you can take out. Same thing with any centralized system. All the information is in one centralized area. Now, I will say this: when you're in a centralized area, it's also vulnerable to being hacked because everything is in one central location. Not the worst, but it is for the individual to decide. It's not for me to decide for you or anyone else to decide.
That's true.
Um, if you know centralized, you got to know decentralized.
That's right.
Now, decentralized means it's wide open. Everyone, like, take a look at Bitcoin and the blockchain. The blockchain allows everyone on the particular space to see what's going on at every moment. It is also semi anonymous.
Ah,
Semi anonymous. It allows you to see where it comes from point A to point B, but it
that's right.
doesn't tell you who sent it. It allows you a form of anonymity to conduct business. It also allows you to move transaction at a higher rate of speed in seconds,
That's right.
whereas in other areas it'll take 3 and 4 days to be processed, cleared in house,
And
and someone else to refine, and multiple third parties skimming. Skimming is not the right word. Charging
why,
you
sir?
fees,
Why is
charging you
that not the right word? Skimming.
skimming,
Use the word. Skimming.
skimming, skimming a cut for themselves. You
That's
know,
what you get a
they're
percentage
skimming a
off
cut for
before they
themselves.
get out to your wallet. That's
Yeah,
right.
they get theirs before you get yours, for lack of a better term.
Exactly.
So I want to really introduce you to what's happening. I believe it's a great thing, but I need, like anything else we share with you, do your own research, take a look, see where the validity is for you, and see if it fits for what you want to create.
Absolutely.
So I have one more share I want to jump up there with you for. And we all use this on a regular basis. How many of you guys are familiar with Google Pay?
I am.
Everybody has Google Pay.
Everybody
If
pretty
you
much does.
swipe, if you tap, if you QR,
Hmm.
you more than likely have something Google Pay related into your phone.
That's the truth.
If you play games on your phone, you have Google Pay
That's right.
because they're actually using that as a way to track how you use and cover payment systems. Well,
Ooh.
Google Pay has opened up the door to not
Ah,
only
sucker, sucker.
additional payments, they've actually opened up a combination, an integration on crypto.com, which is a cryptocurrency exchange if you're not familiar with it.
That's right.
It's a cryptocurrency exchange. Google Pay is now allowing, well, let me rephrase that. Crypto.com is allowing Google Pay an integration into their platform
As a
where
payment to
you
pay
can
for your
access
account.
up to 250 popular cryptocurrencies
Right. Straight from your Google Pay account.
straight from your Google Pay account.
So which means that you can now pay for your crypto in cash
Google Pay.
right to right through Google Pay. Just like a bank. Any bank.
Absolutely. Now, be mindful.
Why is
You will
that important?
also have to open up your. You have to do what's known as KYCs. Do an additional
Exactly.
KYCs, which is called, we call it Know Your Customer. They
Yes,
want your pertinent, vital information before you do so.
exactly. So and it's not a bad thing. But
No, it isn't a bad thing.
we're teaching people how to manage your identity along with security as well as your finances. Because these things we are in a new day and age, everyone. You gotta admit that today is the information age. At one time we were in the industrial age, and now we have moved into the information age. We went from into industrial to digital, and now we are in information. And people keep
Absolutely.
thinking it's no, 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 we're still in digital. We are highly information off the back of the infrastructure of the digital.
Yep.
I'm a tech, okay? And I'm gonna let you know right now. The reason we're in the information age is because information carries the same value as finance. Cryptocurrency is not money. Cryptocurrency is software. And
One.
since it's software, it has a infrastructure built in logic, information.
There's a lot of great things that having Google Pay come on to crypto.com, and this is actually on the back of, in 2021, Google Pay did an integration with a company on the New York Stock Exchange called BACK, which is BAKKT. And that's another exchange that allows you to do payment systems and exchanges on the New York Stock Exchange. So you were able to use the Google Pay on the New York Stock Exchange from your phone through this
Okay.
integration called BACK. And they did it back in October 2021. So from then on, you've been able to use Google Pay on the exchange. So no longer did you have to call a stockbroker directly
Right.
to do it. You can actually do it on your phone through an app. And,
Why is that important?
one is important because it allows you to get on time on time purchases through our investment protocols that you want to take advantage of. You don't have to wait for someone to call up and then put it in. And it also, no offense to stockbrokers at all, none, please. They make their money by making sure you call them. When you call them, they get paid for every entry, every buy, every sell, every win, every lose. You've just actually cut half of their payment system down to benefit you. Now, understand when you're using Google Pay, and I'm going to be very honest with you, on any platform, please be mindful of the security because you are now
Right.
responsible for your security.
Exactly.
All right. Google Google Pay is not a private network. That is an open network.
Mm, mm.
So just like you see at case in point, Google Drive, Google Docs, Google Slide, uh, PowerPoint, all that stuff is all Google based. It's all internet
Ah,
online based.
PowerPoint. Mm.
Not PowerPoint. Excuse me. Google Slides.
It's okay. We have a lot. They have a lot of similar platforms to
Understand me.
software companies. Exactly.
You know, and the big one that's actually managing all, and you guys don't understand, they actually created a platform called Google Workspaces. They've allowed you to integrate all your stuff into one area, but they've also allowed you to allow them to access all your information.
Exactly.
And just because they say because you get Google for free, it isn't free. There's a cost to it. Your information is value. So all the stuff that you create and use through Google anything is open to Google acquisition and usage. You know, as being one of the people in P2G, one of the things we teach, security is the first call of order. So if you're going to be using Google Pay or Google anything, understand me. If you have security features in place, maybe that's not the first place you want to have security. And when I say that, I'm referring to, say you have a list of passwords. Let's not put your passwords on Google Docs so you can access them because you have them literally accessible to you. You've
Exactly.
also made your passwords accessible to Google and anyone who uses Google.
Yeah.
Let's say, Google Photos. Say you have photos you don't want to get out there.
Hmm.
You don't want to store them in your Google Drive.
Nah, that might not be
Not a really
good.
good idea. Google is a great platform. This is not to downgrade Google in any manner. It has actually opened people up to the digital divide that they may not have been privy to. But understand, it
Yeah.
comes at a price.
We can
And
work. We can work collaboratively through Google and keep our notes and keep things up to date at the same time, simultaneously. But you want to make sure that you're looking at some of the security methods that you want to use.
absolutely.
Now, while we're not going to be teaching a Google class at this time, that is not why we're
No.
on this platform. We're explaining how physically, why is it, I just would like for you to really pinpoint why Google Pay coming into this crypto space is really so, why is that like some hot stuff here? Why is this news?
Oh,
I
this
mean,
is
we got PayPal, we got Cash App. These are all like right.
PayPal, Cash App, Visa, MasterCard. They're all
But
in the space.
why is Google so special?
Well, Google is instrumental. Google is one of the platforms that is internationally widely used around the world. Understand me, everyone has something Google related on a device, a home computer, mobile device, and Google is, for lack of a better term, user friendly.
Now, I'm looking at the implications that go even further than that. Google is a very large, and as you just explained, a very large integrated company that is quite connected to many, many devices. I mean, probably a good half to 40 something percent of devices on this planet have Google in them, have software from Google in them. Now, if Google is making it possible for their pay program to be used as a conduit for payment to crypto, what happens when Google adopts the payment system for crypto for their products and goods
They have
for
now
monthly
become
service?
they have now become the largest based cryptocurrency exchange in the world, pretty much. For
Come on now,
usage and
somebody.
execution of crypto, look at it. We talk about it on one of our platforms,
Al, I want
Crypto
you to
Business.
give me 1 second before we even go there. I love building up ideas. What
Okay.
happens when Google becomes a part of the metaverse, right? Now, what happens when you realize that Google Pay is not the only thing that is involved in the payment system in crypto? What happens when not only how you pay, they become a payment system for businesses themselves? Because now Google Pay is a way that businesses are now doing business. People go to the store and ask if you have Google Pay.
Yep.
But like I said, if it's a payment conduit, why can't you transact crypto from those same kiosks? Come on, somebody. We got to think out the box. This conversation is meant for the masses, those who consider themselves the little guy. It is time for you to start seeing the end game to some of these companies that are throwing you bones for what's to come. We've been telling folks, just like PayPal, Cash App has been in the game a long time. Cash App just hasn't been in stores and places. You haven't been able to play with Cash App until very recently for goods and
Absolutely.
services from business owners. Your local store, you can ask them, do you accept Cash App? And they'll probably tell you yes.
And Cash App has a QR
Cash
code
App
that you can use
has
in
it.
many stores.
And not only that, Cash App has crypto. So now the company that's getting in the game is already on your phone. It's built into your financial systems. It's built into your everyday communications, making it possible and even easy for you to transact in this thing called crypto. If you ain't up on this game with crypto now, you better get you some education in it, because I'm telling you,
Absolutely.
it's sneaking up on you even if you don't know. You don't know how to use it. Don't worry. Like we said, 9 o'clock. There's a free workshop that we explain. There's no sales. That is not a up. That's not an upsell to something other. It is education in an area. Good evening, my love. Good evening, Miss Minor. How you doing, sis? It is a workshop rather. We're not even a class. It's a workshop where we work together to figure this crypto thing out. Because believe it or not, it's already taken over and we don't even know. And every time we of
Absolutely.
the masses are catching on to anything, it's after it's after folks have made their money and we are now their
Absolutely.
customer. We are now their customer. When will we as the customer want to be on the other side of that counter as an investor producer?
One of the key things that people should realize, and I don't know if they do or not. Ruby, you made it perfectly clear. How often will you be the consumer after the funds are made? You
Right.
know, we always have that. Oh man, if I only knew conversation. There was Microsoft. There was Apple. There was Tesla.
Mhm.
There was Amazon. It's crypto now. What are you waiting for?
Thank you.
It
Look at
was
your XRP is down here at 20 at 36 cents.
uh,
All right now, somebody.
36 cents. This
Bitcoin
morning it was
at
31, so
22.
that's a 4%. That's a 4 point bump. Let me say, look, it doesn't take a lot.
Ethereum,
You
what you
don't
got?
need to be a brain surgeon. Cryptocurrency has a certain set of rules that apply. If you use the rules, it will benefit you.
So right now I'm trying to tell everybody I ain't trying to be your mama. I'm not your mama. I'm not your financial advisor. We teach financial literacy. That means a process of learning financial literacy to be financially literate so that you have the power to do what you do. But the fact is, if you don't show up, like I said, come to class, because if you don't show up to class, you never got the info. You didn't get
Absolutely.
when people were making money and was blowing up and figured out things. You didn't get the memo because you didn't show up. That class will take place at 9 o'clock tonight. It's on this platform right here that's scrolling around at the bottom called P2G Networks. You have an opportunity to join that platform for free and get that free workshop, that information
You
for free.
sign up, get the
Everything,
membership in play.
everything's not
No
free
charge.
though.
Takes work.
No, there's no upfront charge because
No,
the
there
bottom
isn't.
line, what costs you is not to know. What it's going to cost you is to pay somebody to tell you something you don't get the hang of and you keep paying them more money. We learned our lesson from that kind of activity, and we're trying to help people who are willing to help themselves. We're self-taught. We're self-taught, and we have the wisdom of information and time on this area. Because P2G has been teaching for 3 years. When we saw this coming, we started getting ready for you because we knew you were coming. Join the platform, take a look around, see what's up on that website. Because when you look around and you talk to some of these folks, you know what you're gonna find. Everybody got your story. We all started in the same place. We had started at different ages, different
Hmm.
lifestyles. Some people got pensions, some people got money, some people saved their pension through a pandemic by learning about cryptocurrency. What's gonna be your story? Is all I'm saying. P2G was created for the people by the people, and we all function. The people are now the ones who run it. That's just how it's been. Now, before we move forward, we are always moving forward.
Absolutely.
P2G is moving into something called the metaverse. I don't know if everybody knows what that is, and I'm really excited to share that with you. But we now have something that we call block the block Wall Street metaverse. Does that sound familiar to anybody?
Well, I'm in the game right now for that. Definitely in the game for that.
All right. Block Wall Street Metaverse is a virtual location where you will find a collaboration of people of different small businesses from around the world that are coming together to collectively build. Just like in Tulsa, Oklahoma, in Greenville, Oklahoma, sorry, in Greenville, Oklahoma, we find that a lot of people have learned one thing. They learned how to, through adversity, come together and build a working society of interconnected, communicative wealth, generational. It lasted through the 1800s into the mid 19s. The tragedy was ignorance and intolerance. But did Black Wall Street work? Let's
It
talk
was.
about it.
Look. It had to work because one, they had something that we didn't have, and people may not see this as a powerful thing, but I want you to understand the same law that they put in place to keep us out made us strong.
Allowed for. I want you to stop saying us. I'm
Okay.
going to ask that you not be exclusive to who
Okay.
we are.
Got you. Got. Okay. I understand that.
Come on
But
now, y'all. We got to evolve.
when you segregate people,
Hmm.
you force them. You put their backs against the wall to take an action to benefit the whole. You take an action to the whole. When you divide, it doesn't always work the way you expect it to work. And by segregating a group of individuals,
Hmm.
they have to decide to build their own homes, build their own stores, do transactions within a community that benefit their entire community. And through all this, they became some of the richest towns or settlements, what they were called. They weren't called towns, they were called settlements
They were called settlements.
that created. We had at Greensburg, I believe, we had two airports, we had a nursing school,
Greenwood.
business school, locksmith, and this is all on the backs of being told that we don't want your business in our neighborhood. You can work for us, but we're not going to take your money to help you survive. So you're going to have to figure it out on your own. And strangely enough, when you put people's back up against the wall, there's a term called fight or flight. They were hoping for they were hoping for the latter. They were truly hoping for the latter. This way, they can get them out of the area, send them off packing. They said, "Oh no, we're here. We already walked the what's it called? The
The
road of tears.
Trail of Tears.
the Trail of Tears, all the way to Oklahoma to be quote unquote free. And they said they weren't leaving. The people in that area said they weren't leaving.
Well, you got to understand.
And I'm personally, I am very excited about it, and I'm very pride. I may even sound prideful about it,
I think you do.
but I get it. I get it. There are times when people you are left with no choice other than to move up, and they made
Right.
it possible through the circumstances they had. Go ahead, Ruby. Before I grab a soapbox and it's about to be on and popping.
We're not soapboxing. It's okay. What we're trying to share with you, and actually, I'm trying to pull it up so that we can get you to take a look at some of the progress that we've made in this space, and I'm really excited. Excited about one. I want to thank Hutch and Dee, who happens to be one of the instructors for the Black Wall Street Metaverse project. He's one of the leading teachers in that space. I want to just right now coming into that space right now, so I can share with you all what we are up to there. I'll give you. I can always tell everybody all the time. I can show you better than I can tell you, and so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to share our site with all of you, and we created I created a hall. I'm actually in the process of creating the hall of fame in this space. And I hope that this is actually done what it needs to do. Okay. So unfortunately, this is not ready to go as well as I'd like, but I'm still going to show you guys a little of the work that we've been putting in. What we're making possible, in a moment, it has to share it. There we go. My computer's probably telling me I'm doing too much.
You might have too much running. You might have a little too much running that, but
No, it's
understand.
okay. It's okay. Trust me. I'm getting it. I'm basically getting this done. So I just want to give you guys a quick walkthrough. We've got about 2 minutes left, and it won't take long. But what we've been able to accomplish needs to be seen because we're still asking small businesses to join the metaverse process that was built for supporting the growth of your business. That's being built to make sure that you get seen in an all new, amazing way. I mean, I don't know about you, but if your business can be seen the way we're showing it now, it can make the difference between customers buying and customers passing by your web space. So I like to share with you all what we're up to in the metaverse space platform that we're using called Muse.place. And so is currently, this is the creator. This is a gentleman who was one of the main founders of the first store or the first grocery store, main vein of in and out commerce to the world for Black Wall Street to exist. So he's the founder of Black Wall Street. Okay, and I'd like to walk you through this space. How I am in this space, your visitors will also be on their devices. They will be able to use their phone, their cell phones, their tablets, as well as their computers. Right now, I'm on my desktop and I'm able to maneuver this. Currently, I have to turn my videos on, but I'm keeping them off so that it doesn't slow the room down. But you can hear a little bit
The
of what it
Dawes Act
is.
passed in 1887,
There you go.
allowing the federal government to break up tribal lands into individual plots.
That's the sound from the video. And shortly you'll get to see it and we'll be able to expand it as we complete the work on this room. You're going to find that these are the bankers, different levels and different time frames of different bankers. You have barbers. You have people who own businesses. This is commerce organizations. This is the sound that you're hearing of the music from my platform. There'll be more pictures coming and descriptions under everything you're seeing. This was Greenwood, Oklahoma at the time. You know, I want to share with people that what took place in Black Wall Street was a true travesty, and a lot of history of great creation was lost, but can does not have to be forgotten and not recovered, because the blueprint for Black Wall Street worked. It worked, everyone. And it's time for the people to come together, not out of strife, struggle, or strife, but out of the ability to build with one another. When are we going to just call ourselves what we are? The people. It's
The human
time.
experience.
Exactly. So we're inviting people all over the planet to join the Black Wall Street movement. P2G is a worldwide international company that has grown. It's a company built from collaborations and networks of networks. Bring your network. We're here to share ours with you. We're also here to put you all up in the forefront with the newest technology there is to be found. Let's get it started. So we'll see you tonight at 9 p.m. We thank you. Mr. Thomas?
Yo, great show tonight, Ro. You did an awesome job. Love the conversation.
Oh,
Ladies and gentlemen, definitely come back, check out our YouTube, like and subscribe. We'd love to have you. And any commentary is more than welcome. We love you. Peace and blessings, y'all.
peace and blessings. Everything's so slow now. Don't forget to not just like and subscribe. You want to hit that notification to make sure that you get